boys and girls, let's have some fun and draw together. Maybe your parents would even like to join in. Anyone in the household is welcome. This project is recommended for first graders. Today we will be drawing an owl. You might recognize the project, and that's okay. Again, we're just trying to have some fun. For this project, you will need a piece of paper or a few pieces of paper and a pencil and an eraser. At the end of the project, if you want to then color it in with anything you have at home, if you have crayons, if you have some markers, whatever you have. If you don't want to color it in, that's also fine. Okay? So, before we start, let's start with our shapes. So I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper, anything I have laying around. Remember, let's continue our good habit, sitting straight in front of our drawing, holding it with one hand, the piece of paper, and the other hand draws. I'm going to go ahead and use my Sharpie today so that you can see a little easier with the film. All right, boys and girls, let's begin. The first shape is a circle. Very good. The next shape is a circle, but we color it all the way in, so we call it a dot. The next is a line. Can we remember what that line is called? Horizontal. Let's all say it together. Horizontal line. Very good. The next one, let's say together, is a vertical line. Vertical, tall. Then we have a diagonal line. Can we say that together? Diagonal. Very good. Then we have our half circles, which is a U, an upside down U, which looks like a rainbow, a C and a backward C. And then we have our V's, a regular V, an upside down V, looks like a capital A without a crossbar, and then our sideways V's. And then, of course, we have our slightly curved line. It's not quite straight, and it's not as bent as our upside down U. And then we have our lazy S. Our lazy S vertically, our lazy S horizontally, I call a hill and a valley. And then we've been adding spirals lately, so go ahead and do your spiral. I know we all like that. We can turn it into a really cute snail. That's always fun. All right, so boys and girls, after you've finished your shapes, go ahead and get your piece of paper that you want to work on. I'm using my paper. It is vertically, but that's up to you. Remember, you have to think about the composition and what your end result is going to look like. Do you want one big owl? Do you want many owls? Do you want them on a branch? Do you want them somewhere else? Okay, so you have to start thinking. Remember, drawing is also about using our brain to think about what we want it to look like when we're done. All right, normally I start with the eyes, but today we're going to start with his nose. So remember how this works. I'm going to draw first, and then you draw. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start my nose right about here. I'm going to do a slightly curved line for the top of the nose. And if you can see from the picture over here, his nose then is a really very long V on the bottom of that. So go ahead and draw that, boys and girls. After that, I'm going to touch the top of my nose, and I'm going to make a half circle. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Touch the top of the nose, make a half circle. Very good, boys and girls. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a little notch right here. So I'm going to make a little sideways V that points inside. Okay. Now, to finish off my bird's eyes, you're going to see that it touches not quite the bottom of my nose, but right about there. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do a half circle. I'm going to try to touch the nose right about there. If you find it easier to put a little mark where you want to touch the nose before you start the circle, or if you find it easier to turn your paper to do it, that's also fine. Whichever you find the easiest way to do it. So here goes the rest of mine, half circle. So that's the outside of the eyes. Now we need the inside. So we have they have big eyes, so let's give a big circle. And then inside that, you can do a smaller circle. That's the pupil. You can color it in or not. Very good. So now let us continue with the top of the head. It's really not a half circle. This is our slightly curved line. We're going to start right about here, right above where the notches are. And we're going to slightly go up and then slightly go down. Okay? If you'd like a couple of little slightly curved lines right there to show some feathers, you may. The next thing we're going to do are his wings. They're by his side. I'm going to start right here under the big part of my eye with a slightly curved line going down. Notice I tried to end in a point, so I'm going to think about that when I start right about here to come down on my slightly curved line, but try to end in a point. I need one on this side, so here I go with my slightly curved line. Go back to the middle, another slightly curved line to close that in as a point. Okay. So before we decorate his wings in there, let's go ahead and close his body in, which is another half circle. Okay, how we doing, everybody? Good job. So we need to do the legs. Remember, you can do the legs any way you want. Remember, I usually teach you the easiest way to draw things. This is not the only way to draw an owl, but this is an easy way to draw this particular owl. So, for the legs, same thing. I'm going to do it easy, but if you want to do it a different way, that's fine. I'm going to do a long U for the top of his leg, another long U for the top of his leg, and then 2 lines down from that for the rest of his leg. Everybody with me? Super. Now I'm going to do his talons. Remember, the easiest way I know. There's certainly many other ways, but we're just going to do a sideways V, a regular V, and another sideways V. Okay? However you did the first one, do the second one the same. Very good, boys and girls. So now there's a couple of more things you'd want to do. I'm going to finish decorating the wings. I just did lots of U's across. Maybe you have a different idea. Maybe you want to do more V's than U's. All right. Now, if you haven't finished that, that's okay. You can always go back to that. I'm going to go on and talk about the branch. So, if you'd like a branch coming across the page, we're going to go ahead and start on one side of the page. Now, I know you all remember what happens when I bump into something. What do we say? Excuse me. So I'm going to jump over my leg here, say excuse me, and jump over again. All right. Now we're going to make this thicker. Now, boys and girls, it's up to you how you want to finish the branch. If you want to go up with some branches, you may. If you want to go down, like to put some leaves on it, you can. And of course, if you'd like to do the moon. Now remember, we've talked before about getting a perfect circle. I hope you remember what I've called that, a template. So for instance, if you get something round that is big enough that you like and you want to trace that for the moon, you may. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now because it's hard for me to do it on an easel versus flat, and then you wouldn't be able to see it. But remember, if you'd like to get a perfect circle, use a template. If you don't mind, just try to do the best circle you can. You don't even have to put a moon in if you don't want. If you'd like to put some stars in, whatever you'd like to finish off this beautiful owl is up to you. I hope you've had a fun time drawing with Miss Yvonne. I look forward to seeing you soon. Please, everyone, take care, stay safe.